This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. The information contained in this podcast is intended for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for individual professional legal advice. The podcast information was carefully compiled from vetted sources and references. However, R.O.S.E Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly cannot guarantee that you will not fall victim to a scam. Let's talk about scams. It's the must-listen show for anyone who wants to protect themselves and their loved ones from scams. Every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on K4HD Radio, Joyce Petrowski, founder of R.O.S.E, and her guests will provide valuable insights and practical tips on how to recognize and protect yourself from scams. And now, here is your host, Joyce Petrowski.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Joyce Petrowski, founder and board president of R.O.S.E Resources Outreach to Safeguard the Elderly. You can find more information on our website, roseadvocacy.org. You'll find all of our social media links right at the top of the homepage. Interested in scheduling us to come out and do a presentation? We've got a button called Schedule Your Presentation and Learn More. We've been adding some new and different programs to it. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you will also find where you can sign up for our newsletters. We send one in the mail, and we also do one via email. The emailed one, the great thing about it is every Tuesday morning, which is this morning at 9:15 a.m. Arizona time, you're going to get a Tip Tuesday. And you might already know the tip, but what it does is it helps reinforce your healthy skepticism and your scam prevention habits, which unfortunately we're in a world today where we need that reoccurring. We need to hear things, see things, say things multiple times on a reoccurring basis in order to make those scam prevention tools a habit. So after last week's episode, a viewer had wrote in and left a comment that they heard that the gel ink pens were not good for to prevent against check washing. And so it's the first time I had heard of that. So I did a little research on it, and I found this really great article that talked about a test that was run, and I am going to share my screen so we can go through that. Give me just 1 second here. All right. So this is the article that I found. If you want to go to it, it actually has a little video of a YouTuber, Rob's Homemade Life. Actually went through this with a couple different solutions and different gel ink pens. We're not going to watch the video, but we're going to go through what it says. So let's see. Where's this at here? So check washing. So the goal of check washing is someone gets a hold of a check that you've written, and let's just say that you wrote a check out to give as a gift to someone, family member, friend, whoever. And a lot of people these days do their banking on their phones. They'll deposit their checks on their phones. They pull up their banking app. They go into the deposit. They take a picture of the check. I would imagine front and back of it. I don't do this, so anyways, they take a picture of it and it gets deposited into their account. But then what happens to that check? Hopefully they put it away in a file, or they write void on it, or they, rip it, shred it somehow, to make it safe. But sometimes, you just don't know what happens to that check. Or let's say a criminal intercepts, your mail, and there's a check in an envelope and they get it that way. There's different ways they can get the checks, but they're in essence using a chemical solution to erase the ink off of the checks. Now, what they've also been doing is putting tape of some sort on the signature, so that keeps the signature intact, but they wash all the other ink off. So they could wash the amount, the date, sometimes the signature if they don't put the tape on it, but the pay to the order of, to get the ink off of there, and then they can rewrite the check to their benefit. And this can have devastating effects on the people who are the victims. So this YouTuber Rob went through a test to test some of the three different gel ink pens. So let's see here. Well, before we start that, I was just reading this, that banks fight check washers by printing checks using inks that degrade when they're exposed to the chemicals, um, which renders the check useless after being treated. But not all checks are produced that way, because individuals and businesses can purchase their checks through a variety of vendors outside of the bank. Um, so that's one way that banks help prevent against it. But this YouTuber Rob, he put a Pilot G2, he put a standard click ballpoint pen, and then he also put a Uniball 207 pen against two different solutions. And the one thing I really like about this test that was done is he just called the first one solution A, the second one solution B. He didn't give away the details as to what was in those solutions. Um, but let's look at the Pilot G2. Um, Basically, the ink was washed off by solution B and it faded under solution A. The standard click ballpoint pen or ink faded under both of the solutions. They weren't completely, the ink wasn't completely washed away, but it was faded. But the Uniball pens, the Uniball 207, the ink didn't budge under either of those chemicals. So that was the winner out of those 3. So the most important thing to remember here is that not all gel pens are created equally, and um, not all gel pens will be able to withstand these different chemical solutions, and keep the ink intact on the check. So, if at all possible, when you are writing checks, try to get a Uniball 207. I know that's what we actually give out um, in our presentations. Everybody that attends our presentations, we give a Uniball 207 pen out to them. You can get them very easily on Amazon. You can go to any, office store. You can buy them there as well. But um, let's go down to this. The bottom of the article just talks about some other different things that you should do, like using the blue post office box and things like that. But I want to go to our resource packet. So here's our resource packet that we give out to every attendee in our presentation. This is page 10, which talks about check washing and check writing. There's two different things. So, we say use that gel pen. Probably on our next update, we might specifically say the Uniball 207. The ink's harder to remove, but drop the mail inside the post office. Um, or if you're using those blue post office boxes at the post office, use them before the last pickup of the day, so you know that your mail that's in there is going to get taken out during one of the pickups during the day, so it's not going to get left overnight. You don't want to leave checks in your mailbox. Collecting your mail daily If you're going to be on vacation, put a hold on your mail so it doesn't accumulate in your mailbox. When you're writing the name of the payee, try to avoid initials, because those initials could stand for a variety of different things. If you have old or unused checks, make sure you shred those or safely discard of them, and instead of just throwing them away for anybody to get a hold of. And reviewing your bank statements you can also put alerts on your bank account. But this check writing, this is something that's different. It doesn't deal with the ink on the checks, but what it is where the scammers, the criminals, are actually making duplicate checks off of your account. And they've been doing this for a long time because every check includes the bank routing number and your account number. Now, the bank's routing number is public information. You can just Google what is Wells Fargo routing number for ACHs or for wire transfers, and it's going to pop up. It's public information, but your account number is not, but it's on the bottom of every check. So, in essence, it does then become more public information. So just, if you're giving somebody a check in person and you're not sure how they're going to deposit it, maybe ask them. And if they're going to do it over their phone, ask them if they can just deposit it, and then you can take it with you for safekeeping. Or just be very careful on how many checks you write. Maybe do more through online banking. So then the bank is actually printing the checks out and sending them for you. So you're not having to write the checks. Um, so a couple other things here. You never want to sign a blank or incomplete check. Only give checks to trusted people or businesses. Set up the bank alerts so you can get notified of activity. Always use your two-factor authentication. And if you receive a suspicious check, and this happens a lot with scammers, they actually, in a wide variety of cases, they will send you a check and they'll say, well, just deposit it and send me this much back. And it might take a day or two for your bank to realize that's a fraudulent check, but you've already sent the money, some or all of the money back to the scammer, and the next day you find out that check was no good, so you're actually out the money. So just be careful of that as well. And go back up to when you're using those blue post office boxes, just make sure you're using them at the post office. And I've even noticed at the post office I go to, they've taken the ones outside the post office away, except for there's one left in the drive-through area. But if you're walking, um, if you get out of your car and go, you actually have to go into the post office and deposit your mail that way. It's just a deterrent. Because if someone's going to break into those blue post office boxes, they're going to find ones that are just sitting by themselves on the sidewalk. It's a deterrent to actually go to the actual post office and break into, because they break into one of those. There's cameras all over the place. So just be very careful if you are mailing something that has a check in it, has a gift card in it, sensitive personal information. You're going to want to make sure you take it inside the post office and put it in the outgoing mail that way. So that is all I have today. I'm going to stop sharing here. This was a really short one, 15 minutes, but it was very important. And so if you have any other tips or things that you hear about that you're not sure about, send us a message. We love to get those messages, because then we can create a show around it. So just remember with the gel ink pens, if you want to be safe, according to this YouTuber Rob that did this test, he determined out of those three that were used, Click Ballpoint, the Pilot, and then the Uniball 207, that you use the Uniball 207. You can find them in a variety of different places. come to one of our presentations, get one scheduled and have us come out, and you'll get one for free at the presentation along with everybody else there. Clip it right to your checkbook. That way you have it right there every time you want to go write a check. All right. Don't forget to visit our website, roseadvocacy.org. Scroll down to the bottom, sign up for our newsletters to get that reoccurring scam information. And you'll find our social media links. We are really trying hard to grow our YouTube page, and you can go to the YouTube, I should say the YouTube channel, and you can find all of our past episodes along with the shorts, and you can find some other videos there too. But click subscribe so you get notified whenever there's a new video upcoming, or maybe that just dropped on there. Next week, Brian Watson is going to be here. So I'm not quite sure what he has ready for you guys, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And I will see you guys back here in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Well, that's all the knowledge for this episode. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on K4HD Radio at k4hd.com as Joyce explores a variety of knowledge so you have the power to make scam protection your healthy habit. And until then, feel free to reach out to Joyce and let's talk about scams.